After everything came out, I kept expecting my mind to settle into something clearer. Some kind of emotional endpoint where it finally starts to make sense in a structured way. But it didn't happen like that. Instead, it just stayed unsettled. Not constantly painful in a dramatic way, but always present. Like a thought I can't fully finish. Something that keeps interrupting normal moments when I'm supposed to be thinking about anything else. The hardest part isn't only what Tom did. It's what it did to the entire timeline of everything that came before it. Because when I look back now, nothing looks different in the actual moments it happened. That's what makes it so difficult to process. There was no obvious shift in behavior that I can point to and say, that was the moment I should have known. We still laughed. We still talked normally. He still showed up in my life the same way he always did. And that version of reality didn't feel questioned at the time. So now I'm left trying to reconcile two things that don't fit together. What I lived through then, and what I know now. My wife has completely sided with Laura, and I understand that position. For her, it's direct and clear. Someone she's close to was deeply betrayed by someone she also trusted. There's no emotional conflict in how she sees it. It's firm, and in many ways, it needs to be. But my situation with Tom sits somewhere more complicated. Because he isn't only the person who made this decision. He is also the person who has been part of my life for 20 years. The one who stood beside me through periods of my life that were unstable, difficult, and personal in ways I didn't share with many others. And now both versions of him exist at the same time in my mind. The friend I knew for decades, and the person I now know he was during that same period. Neither cancels the other out. That's where I keep getting stuck. There are moments where I think the answer should be simple. Step back completely, cut ties, accept that something fundamental has changed and cannot be repaired. And then, there are other moments where I find myself questioning how to deal with the weight of 20 years of shared history that was real at the time it happened. But even trying to understand it doesn't fix anything. Understanding doesn't rebuild trust. It doesn't undo consequences. It doesn't change what it has already done to everyone involved. And life doesn't pause while you figure it out. The families are still connected. The children are still part of the same circle. There are still shared spaces, shared history, shared responsibilities that don't disappear because trust has been broken. So now I'm left in a space where I can't return to what things were. But I also don't yet know what it looks like to move forward from here. What I do know is that something permanent has shifted. Not just in them, but in how I see people I thought I understood completely. And now it's less about fixing what happened, and more about deciding how I live with what's left of it. Because some changes don't reverse. You just learn how to exist inside them. Thanks for watching, like, share, and subscribe.